Good night. Welcome back. So we are now at week 15, and I see someone has liked the video already. Good on whoever that is. Probably my mother. Tonight's topic, AI agents. We're gonna talk about those. We already touched on AI avatars and the ChatGPT stuff like that. But tonight it's more about AI agents, tools that talk, meaning to you or to each other, versus tools that do, meaning can actually take action. So tonight I am keeping things practical, which I typically do anyway. And we have now been talking about AI for a few weeks, but I want to help you understand something very important. Not all AI tools do the same thing. And I've been happy to see a lot of the feedback has been that people have at least been trying ChatGPT, and it's a start. Some people have been using more Perplexity AI more, Claude, all great, tools. A lot of them do the same thing and have specialty features that they can do other stuff. So good to see that you guys have been exploring and taking on the advice. So some AI tools answer questions. So that would be a regular chat GPT kind of stuff. And some can present information. Some actually take action. And that is where the AI agents really come in. So a lot of people have been stuck at, let's say, level one, or at least playing around there. But just understand the same way you can have a back and forth discussion or chat with ChatGPT or any of the other AIs I listed, there are AI agents that can execute tasks for you or on their own once you set them to tasks. So if you wanted a tool to literally go through your email inbox and sort them, or respond to emails or draft emails that you can then look over before you hit send, or do research and everything. But let me not get ahead of myself. I will try to go in order of my notes. So once you understand the difference, you can start seeing real possibilities, whether that's with your personal life, career, business, anything. So ChatGPT can answer stuff. Yes, avatars can present stuff. Those are the visual ones, like the one I showed. I want to say last week or week before with I think I showed you guys the tool from HeyGen, or I think he used another one. But the point is, you can look through the playlist history and see the demo that I did with that one. And agents can act. So automation connects the steps. That's where that part comes in now. And automation, side note, can act very similar to AI agents, where it's all about execution, but you have to set up a workflow first to get the automations to run. So if I wanted an automation to do something like, say, every time I send a message to my WhatsApp, it triggers a response action. Like, say, it opens my email. That is far from the best example, but the point is automations can function similar to the AI agents. So in terms of the tools that can answer stuff for you and chat back and forth, I mentioned already ChatGPT, which most people by now do know of, or at least have heard of or tried at least once. You have Claude, you have Gemini, you have Perplexity. Those are just the examples. So these are tools that you can use to help you think, research, draft, summarize, plan, and organize your work, your tasks, anything. So they're powerful, but they usually need you to prompt them to do something. They can't just independently come up with an idea and execute it all on their own. You're typically typing, or a lot, I think just about all of them have the voice feature where you can dictate to them. So you can press the button, hit record, and you talk to it. And they can also talk back to you if you just tweak and turn on a setting. So some examples, people have been using them for, of course, writing captions on Instagram, but that's still like very basic level one stuff. It's good if you were at least using them, but there's a whole world of possibilities out there. Again, don't let me get ahead of myself. So you can use them to help you brainstorm an offer for your business, or you can use it in work, of course, when you're doing projects, different things like that, summarizing a document, helping plan content, helping analyze an idea. So these tools help you think faster. And I always encourage people to view these things and use them just like that, a tool, just like any other thing. A car is a tool. Um, just use them as a tool to help you go further faster. So they don't automatically run the business for you, though. you're essentially still the brain, and they're like a kind of extension of that. So you can, a good example is of all of these AI features and tools being more and more incorporated and baked into the platforms you use every day, like WhatsApp, YouTube. Like YouTube has an Ask AI or AI Ask or AI summarize feature, where if you're browsing now, even on the homepage on YouTube, you might see right below certain videos, a summary of it, and it has AI summary or AI summarize. And if you click it, it will tell you what the video is about before you even click that video. Now, I'm sure some creators probably have their qualms about that, whether it would prevent somebody from clicking on to watch the video if the summary is already there telling it about it. But I'm all for advancements. I think you have to pivot and adapt to whatever comes. So moving on to the AI avatars now that can present. And it would have been nice if I could have some things up on the screen, but I didn't prep those. So like I said, just reference, I think it was the week 13 video where I did the demos, or 11 or 12, anywhere in there. So avatars are more about presentation. You could think of them that way. So an avatar, as we mentioned in that previous episode, can be a representation of you that you recreate with one of these online AI tools, or you can create a completely different character. Many sites have AI avatars that you can actually choose from already pre-made. You can get them any race, color, look that you want. So they're more about presentation, like I said. They help you create a face, so add a voice, or character to deliver information. Examples, you can have AI presenters explaining your services, your products, a faceless content creator, and UGC, which is user generated content, that got more and more popular over the last few years when people, I guess you could say, they got tired of the more polished influencers or the bigger names. So brands started reaching out to just the everyday person or people with way smaller pages on Instagram or YouTube or wherever, and asking them to, hey, I'll send you my face cream product. If you do a review for it, you get paid this amount, or you get free product, or whatever deals they had. But or it could look like a person who's not paid at all or compensated by the company necessarily. Just say you love a product and you decided, I want to post about it, and you generate a video or a clip or something just saying, hey, I love this beauty brand. It does this for my skin, yada, yada. All of that is user generated content. Now, with the AI avatars, people have, in a lot of cases, even skipped over the human element. And a lot of the ads that I would almost guarantee you have seen at least one AI avatar ad. They can now, without any human input apart from prompting, hold the product in their hands. If it's a drink, they can act like they're drinking it. If it's a perfume, they can act like they're spraying it. They can actually take the actions and execute them. And you would see that visually as the output, as the AI avatar is doing these action items. I have my views on whether or not, well, let me say how people go about using the AI avatars when it comes to product demos. I can see how it could come across as at least a little disingenuous if the person, well, it's not even a real person, and by extension, they've never used your product or anything. I think maybe it would be a little different if somebody that actually bought it but doesn't want to show themselves on camera used one and gave that disclaimer. But I don't know. I'm not really there to go down the rabbit hole and debate that. The point is, AI avatars are around. People use them and have been using them to generate that user generated content and showcase their products and services, do product reviews. None of that is really for me. I rather just use real reviews from real people, but I don't knock the hustle. Anyway, so you can use them for, say, creating training videos. I think that's another good use. Let's say if you have a large or small company, and instead of you having to say, get ready if you don't want to, you could use one of these to generate your training videos or SOPs, standard operating procedures, read them out, make it fun, make it more engaging, things like that. You can do product explainer videos, a polished version of you for your content. Again, many people now don't want to have to put in effort to show up on camera. Trust me, I am one of them. I didn't even want to put in my contacts tonight. My ears were super dry. Here I am in my glasses, which I love, by the way. Side note, one of my cousins, Ron, saw me a couple weeks ago and said, I look extra nerdy in my glasses. But I don't even see that as an insult. I think you can look different if you want to. But back to the power of AI avatars, regardless of how you want to look, whether you want to show up in a different hairstyle, different hair color, different outfit. Side note to the side note, I need a uniform at this point for these lives because we're at week 15 and I'm getting tired even picking out a shirt and a pants or a skirt or whatever to wear on here. Anyway, so the point is your avatar can show up how you want it to show up, when you want it to show up, the way you want it to show up, in any outfit you want, hairstyle, suit, whatever it is, you can get that done. Now, AI avatars have gotten so far that, and again, it would have been nice if I had demos, but you can look into this yourself. Just YouTube it after this. You can have you talking, doing actions, and in terms of the video output, your avatar can be it can, or it you can make it look like you are not, your choice, but it would be mirroring the exact actions and head movements, everything. And when you save that video and produce it, that is the finished output of it. So it would have been doing all your hand movements real time and everything. So you don't have to put in a prompt saying move your head to the left or right. It literally just mimics what you're doing, looks like you, or whatever avatar features you had chosen, and that's it. So avatars can help you show up without always having to physically show up yourself. So, but for clarity, the AI avatar can present a message, but it still needs a message worth presenting. So I still always recommend to people still put in the effort the right place in terms of the value of the content or something. So AI doesn't remove the need for value and thinking, but I would say again, these are tools that can still help you go further faster. Imagine if you, again, didn't want to get ready today, but you wanted to produce even 10 videos, um, 10 1 minute videos, 10 5 minute videos, it wouldn't matter. You can have the AI avatar change outfits and get all of them done in less than an hour or a few hours or whatever time frame, as opposed to how long it would take you to physically go and change outfits and get in position again and all of that. Okay, so in terms of the AI agents that act, this is the main section. So an AI agent is different because it's not just giving an answer to your question or prompt that you give it, or it's not just presenting a video or anything like that. It's designed to carry out a task or a flow. So some good examples, you can have a receptionist that answers questions. And again, you can go back to, I really want to say week 12, where there was a demo of my AI receptionist, which can handle live calls. And I did a demo of the live call there. You can answer questions real time, as opposed to how on some platforms, let's say Instagram and WhatsApp, you can set, let's say you have a WhatsApp business page. A lot of you would know that, where you can set it so if somebody messages outside of work hours, based on your settings in the background, it can deliver a message saying, hey, we're currently closed, but these are opening hours and you can let us know how we can help and we'll get back to you soonest. The beauty of an AI agent or even an AI chat bot can do this. So the same ChatGPT and all that, if you link them, technically run on the same but the point is, instead of having just those canned responses or preset responses that can't change and adapt to what the person is saying or asking, and you then still have to go and deal with the piled up messages from those out of hours times or the times during work or whenever, the AI agent can respond real time and handle things for you on your behalf based on how you have it trained in the background. So you can have it book appointments for you, help the person decide on which product or service is best for them. You can have it reschedule appointments. You can have it send emails. You can have it do research for you. So using Perplexity AI as the example, which is a great tool for research, and yes, they all have free accounts, you can go and physically type yourself to do research with Perplexity AI. If you have an AI agent, you can link it so that it runs that research for you without you having to tell it every time. Let's say you wanted that every day, your AI agent scours the internet for 10 leads for your business and writes collects the contact information for them, sends you a little report, and drafts you emails. 10 of those every day. You can set it up so that that runs on autopilot basically every day, doing it for you without you having to go back every time and say, can you do that again? Can you run research for me? Can you do this? So you can set up one or more agents. They can run at the same time or different times based on how you set them. But it's all possible. And I'm saying all this because a lot of people just don't know they can do all this with these AI features now. So as I was saying, some good examples: a lead generation assistant that researches prospects for you or your business, a tool that drafts personalized outreach. So again, instead of you having to, believe it or not, sit down and personalize every single email per person, you can have the AI do that if you want. You can have a support assistant that routes people. Let me watch my time. Right. You can have a support assistant that routes people one direction or the other based on what they're looking for help with. You can have a task runner that checks something regularly. So I just give the example of setting up an AI assistant to do research the same time every day. You can set it for a different time. You can set it for specific days, specific times. You can set it to do 100 versus 200. All of these things cost credit. So that's a topic for another day in terms of how to make it cost effective. But the point is, all of these tools are right there at your fingertips. So you can also get a business assistant that follows a process or helps somebody follow a process. So imagine if you, instead of you having to manually research 100 businesses for your business prospects or whatever, imagine an AI that helps you do that research or does it completely for you and just sends you a little summary report. That's a lot different than you spending hours on end, days on end, even weeks in some cases, painfully going through every person's, say, Googling, going through their website, social media, making notes manually, all of that. There's a huge difference in prompting an AI or agent to set up to do that for you and just sending you one report or however many reports you want with that same information that you can then just browse through. That takes you minutes to less than a day for sure, as opposed to you spending hours, days, weeks doing that exact same research on 100 business prospects. But anyway, then from there, like I said, it can help you draft the outreach messages. It can actually send them, by the way, but you probably would want some measure of control in there just to make sure things are going as they should be going. So you still need judgment and critical thinking. I would always encourage that, but you no longer need to be doing every single thing from scratch. And AI agents are where AI start moving from just information into execution. So that's why I keep talking about systems, and strategy. So an AI agent is way more powerful when there's already a process for it to follow. So if you have an already messy process and you add AI, it's not going to magically fix that for you unless you're asking it to help you do that. But the point is, you still need to have good systems in place, a good strategy, all that. So in terms of how to think about business use when it comes to these AI chatbots or versus agents and avatars and everything, um, think about where are you repeating yourself. So there are certain tasks that can be easily automated and people might not actively realize, why am I constantly outing fires in my business or at work, in my career? Where's all my time going every day? But I have lived it in the corporate world. Trust me, when you go in and you have 10 things to do for that day, or 20, and even just sitting to check your emails, that takes an hour to 2 hours and you haven't done anything yet. You've just caught up on emails. I used to have hundreds. Still traumatized. But anyway, so think about where you're repeating yourself, and some good examples of repetitive tasks or actions I see a lot in businesses and in people's careers. So all of this can still apply if you're in the work world, regular 9 to 5, or you have a business, or you just want to use it for your personal life. The principles don't change. So Some examples, as I said, if you're answering the same questions. See this all the time where, and this is not an attack on the business owners, but to be fair, if you had good systems, no, side note, there are people that just don't read regardless. You can put a glaring neon sign and they still won't read what they're supposed to read. But that tends not to be majority of people. Majority of people, if you make things painfully clear and visible to them, they will just follow the instructions, trust and believe. So I was saying that I see it with business owners a lot, especially in service-based businesses where the owner or workers tend to be more hands-on busy. They're up in arms because they say that, yeah, but I'm tired of people asking me these same questions over and over and over again. Yeah, if you something happening over and over again, that is actually good feedback that you need a system for it. So I've said it before, it should only take something happening once for you to put a system in place for it. Now, where people are asking repeat questions, you can't really know the first time. So that's slightly different, but same principle and concept applies where if three people come and ask you, hey, what are your opening hours? And you have them buried all the way down in your first ever Instagram post, and you have um, 30 or 50, 100 Instagram posts, there's absolutely no one going to your IG page, except me if I'm doing research. No one is going and scrolling to the bottom. So if you had a pinned post in that top left or right position or middle of the grid, just saying, hey, welcome, these are opening hours, this is how to pay us, this is how to find us, just the basics, people wouldn't have to message you and ask you those questions. Or if you have a website, if you again make things easily findable, that solves that problem again more often than not for people. So if you're sending the same link to people over and over again, that's something you can automate. If you're explaining the same offer, product, or service over and over again, that either tells you that, well, you probably don't have the explanation too clear if people still have to ask you a bunch of questions after, or the information doesn't exist or is not highly visible and you need a system in place for it. So if you're forgetting follow-ups, or if customers or clients are forgetting to do something that requires another follow-up to them to prompt them, all of these are things that can be solved by AI agents, or automations. So if you're manually researching leads, if you are manually writing the same kind of content and it's pretty repetitive, if you're manually guiding people through the same processes for your products or services, again, all of these things indicate areas and ways that you can use AI agents to automate. So that's where you start looking at AI for automation. And they really, a lot of these things just naturally mesh together. So chatbots are not also separate from AI agents, also not also separate from automation. As I said earlier, automation can function very similar to an AI agent. It's just less, it can't really adapt real time. You can have certain presets so that if A happens, then this triggers B response, but it can't. AI agents, I would say, you can consider them the most powerful all-around tool for taking action and adapting real time. So there's a difference in an AI agent that can, let's say, a customer booked an appointment and you have an automation in place that triggers a welcome email when they book an appointment. Okay, that welcome email has already been sent. Now, if the person wants to change that appointment, you could have an automation in place for it. But let's say the person asks a question that would typically need human response. Like, okay, if I want to rebook in 10 days time and pay you a deposit of $100 and I want another appointment 10 days down the road, and automation is not real-time responsive, it doesn't have an ongoing thinking brain in there that it can adapt to all of those questions the person just tossed at it, whereas an agent very well can, because it's being powered by one of those same AIs in the background, like ChatGPT or Claude or something. So they're all very powerful. They all can interlink or do have some form of overlap, whether in their origin or use cases. But hopefully you're getting some sort of idea on the power of these AI agents and versus avatars versus the chatbots versus what's the other thing I mentioned? Can't remember. Automation. So don't start with the tools, start with the repeat problems. This is where I was talking about places you can apply the same AI agents are automations. So all of that perfectly ties in with my systems philosophy. You need good systems. Those prevent you from having to scramble every time somebody books a session or you need to send an invoice. None of that has to be done manually. I am not tooting my own horn when I say that when somebody signs on for a subscription or purchases a service, if they do that 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm fast asleep, it doesn't matter because there's a system in place that handles it. So if you are constantly working in the business, you don't have time to even be creative to think of proper solutions and work on the business to give yourself that breathing space and time and everything. So I understand I 100% get it, where it never feels like you have time. It will never feel like you have time, probably, if you're still stuck in that phase. They say, like, when you're stuck in the forest, you can't see above the trees. So if you're constantly just outing fires, adapting real time because something broke today, a product ran out, you have to go and get more. um I guarantee your mindset to those last minute problems that inevitably will pop up, your mindset would be a lot different than if you had great systems and weren't constantly under pressure, versus if you don't have great systems and are operating from a stressful mindset where it feels like everything's always closing in, you never have time to get your business set up properly and have a good system. That is one thing I highly recommend to people. Just take the time and set up a system. And I keep preaching it. You don't need me for these things. Like, that's why I'm doing all this free content, so you can get at least some ideas and go down the rabbit hole, follow the leads, and at least start to spark some creativity with how you can plug the holes in your own business. Now, if at some point you need me, that's different. But I have been giving tons of free tools like the WhatsApp click to chat feature from last week. That's something you can easily set up on your own. None of these things you need me for. Um, so trust and believe, because I have good systems, I don't even need to plug my business on here, because people who want the help will come for it. And those who want to do more DIY and try things themselves, you can take the things and run with them. And every week, just a reminder, I put relevant resources for the episode in the live income lab Q&A resources hub in the school community. So once you go and click that link, you would see everything laid out by weekly episode on the tools mentioned in that week. So last week's example with the WhatsApp click to chat, that has the detailed breakdown of how to do it. So I mean, go and use the resources. They're there for a reason. If I'm on a mission to bridge this knowledge gap in the Caribbean and let us catch up globally, then, I can't do it by hoarding information. I'm just really pushing it out there. Share it with a friend. Tell people. It doesn't hurt when you share knowledge. Everybody just improves. I don't get dumber because I shared something I know. People execute. Good evening to Foster Home. Okay, we're near the end. Oh, geez, 2 minutes. So, well, I guess we could wrap up here for now. Quick reminder, because somebody said it last week when they were like, oh, am I not in the Wealth Circle community? Because they thought that when they watch these live sessions, they're automatically in the Wealth Circle community. And that was another eye-opening moment for me in terms of where the knowledge and tech gap is with some people. So I didn't know that was a thing I would have to explain, but here I am, and I don't mind explaining it. So when you hear me on here, this is just YouTube. It's live. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go and click subscribe. It should be under the video, an option. But in terms of finding these resources and being a part of the Wealth Circle community, which is my free community hosted on a platform called School, the link is in the description of every video that I do. So if you're on the video right now and click the description or read more or whatever it has and scroll there, you will see the link to join the Wealth Circle community. So just watching these doesn't automatically mean you're in it. So that's where you would find the resources hub and the links and everything, the replays, the notes, the tools, anything you need. And I did commit to sharing a personal tidbit every week in efforts to get to let you guys get to know me more, and I guess vice versa when people message me after inevitably with their stories. I enjoy them, by the way. So today's personal tidbit: I had a pet monkey once. We're at 7:30, so unfortunately I can't share details, but I raised it from a baby, literally changing diapers, feeding it formula, everything you can imagine. Boy, was it fun. And that's probably why I'm traumatized. Oh no. So for those of you who keep asking why I wouldn't get biological children, I think the pet monkey was the final straw that brought that camel's back and traumatized me. Um, and it was called Taz, by the way. As far as I know, it's still alive. I didn't kill it and I didn't do anything bad, just so we're clear. Good thing I said that keyword at the end because YouTube would probably cut this. My friend's mother had it because I couldn't deal with it after a while. It was a lot. So tonight was about understanding the difference between tools that answer, tools that can present, and tools that can take action, which is what you should be doing at least once a week when you watch these. Go and take one small action. Next, we can go deeper into the lane, like say AI agents for lead generation, AI avatars for content, or using AI to help you choose a niche and content direction and all of that. But you guys let me know. These episodes are about adapting to what you guys want to learn. I know sometimes you don't know what you don't know, which is why I've just been setting the topics in most cases now. But some people do reach out and request specific things. Like the friend I told you keeps requesting for me to do how to create an AI avatar for an OnlyFans model. And I'm still saying, no, I'm not going to do that one. So you can submit any other ideas but that. um, and the goal, just remember, is not to have to learn or use every AI tool. If you are starting to feel overwhelmed with how many tools you're trying, use that as a signal to slow down and just choose one. Most of them can do all of the same things. It's just about how you prompt them and how you use them. So while I would tell people, if you're researching, Perplexity AI is naturally configured for research. So use that. It doesn't mean ChatGPT can't do research, but you might have to say turn on the web search feature or deep research feature, whereas Perplexity is naturally geared towards research. So use that if you want research. If you want to do more execution, Claude has Claude co-work that can execute tasks for you. So if you want an execution, that sounds like, anyway, if you want something that is naturally geared towards executing tasks, go use Claude. Does it mean ChatGPT can't execute? No. With that, you can add apps, like say integrate your email and have it do tasks in there. But again, Claude Co-work is more naturally geared towards doing that kind of stuff. We're a couple minutes over now. It's 7:33, so don't forget the resources. You can access them from the Wealth Circle community. If you have any questions, reach out on any platforms because I have good systems in place where I won't be overwhelmed. Rather you reach out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever. But still try to reach me in the community, or that's still the easiest. But signing off, and you can, like I said, feel free to message me, ask any questions, and that's it for tonight.